Sometimes doing something new and different can lead you to new beginnings and finding new things that you enjoy, but sometimes that also comes with a price tag, like a PlayStation VR, but you just gotta do what you gotta do. This time we're talking about Superhot VR for the PlayStation VR. When I saw commercials for virtual reality games on TV, I always thought that it would just be the coolest thing, Everyone wants to experience their games in different ways, and what would be more thrilling than being in the game? I remember EA Sports saying it was in the game, like this is what they meant. So this game's called Superhot VR, and I guess it's based off of a normal game. I played a demo of it, and I thought it was the original, but I guess this is the VR version of it, so kudos to them for making two versions of that game. I guess you could call this a first-person shooter, although I think it's more of a puzzle action game. You have to pick up various weapons and objects and break these polygon guys before they get you. I like the simplistic look of the game, and it's probably best considering the VR aspect of it. I'm not sure how fully detailed enemies would turn out as you're like slicing them up and stuff. A major mechanic in the game is basically this bullet time from the Matrix where the bullets are in slow motion, but they really only move at you when you move, so basically they don't move very much if you're not moving, so that makes for interesting gameplay. You'd think you could just hide behind cover sometimes, but now that you have to move to get the bullets and the enemies to come at you, it forces you to move around a little bit, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to play, especially because it requires your own body's flexibility and dexterity to dodge bullets. The weapon variety, while it is varied, I thought there could have been a little bit more variety and a little bit more options. You have the normal pistol that has 3 single bullets, you have an Uzi that shoots 3 3-round bursts, and you have a shotgun that can shoot 2 shotgun shells. You also have throwing objects like throwing stars, bottles, ashtrays, and other various objects, including guns when they run dry, or I guess you could throw the gun with the bullets in it, but that's not exactly efficient. So I'm a little bummed that those are the only options you have other than your fists, and you also have this weird mind control powers you can activate. Yeah, you pull the triggers on the wands and the VR thing, and you can shoot these little electric things out and kill enemies, but I feel like it doesn't work all the time for me. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, maybe I didn't read the instructions, but I just can't seem to get it to work on command. But the simplistic weapon selection does make it easier for you to plan your moves, as, if you see someone coming at you with a good weapon, you can target them first so that they're eliminated and they are not going to be using the good weapon against you, and you can use the good weapon against the rest of their comrades. So maybe that's why it's limited, I don't know. On the more creative side, the main menu is just absolutely bonkers. I mean, you're in this teeny tiny room where you're in front of an old computer and there's these crazy drawings and writings on the wall depicting that there's some sort of lunatic that's been in this room just doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then there's floppy disks on the desk, and you put the floppy disks in the computer, and those are the different game modes for the game. Like, this has to be one of the most creative menu screens I've ever seen. Like, if you think about it, it's a metaphor. You have the old school floppy disks and the new school VR headset all in one ecosystem. It's like old school using your body to have fun, exercising as entertainment, and then the new school video games and technology. It's all coming full circle. The government has all the answers. Aliens exist. Or maybe it's just a cool game when you blow people's faces off. Yeah, that's probably it. The only major negative I have about the game is that sometimes there's objects that are definitely within your reach, but the VR headset doesn't really recognize where you're at, so you're doing the limbo trying to reach a gun that's 2 feet away from you, but the game just won't sense that you're close enough to it. I do think it's a ton of fun, and definitely like nothing else I've ever played. You just load in and you just start shooting stuff, which in the long run it can get a little dull, and once you beat the game there wasn't really much I was interested in. There's definitely the other floppy disks you can put in, but this one definitely sticks out as a good game for me. Well, I did just make a first-person shooter list, but honestly this doesn't fall anywhere on the list, the good or the bad. It's somewhere in the middle. It has tons of cool stuff, it has playability, there just wasn't enough replayability and different ways to play the game that other games on the list have, so that's where I put it. Yeah, VR is pretty cool until you think of the impending world of VR, AR, and AI running everything. Unless they're already doing that. Hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for watching. Working another review soon. See you then.